So, welcome back to the Evolution with Mac and Jenn podcast. It is just Jen here today. As you can see, I feel like it was just me last time we posted and maybe the time before that too. So, Mac is just super busy. We're both been super busy. And so we did take a little hiatus from posting, but I'm here today and it's going to be short and sweet and right to the point because I'm going to talk about something very specific, which has been a question. It was a question that was posted in a group today, but then also um, a lot of my clients and a lot of the women that I speak to also have this issue when it comes to kids at bedtime. And so I want to talk about what I did to create like almost what I did to completely change bedtime with Cameron and how this might be able to help you too and how you can see things a little bit differently to make it just easier for you. So this question was in a group and I'm gonna read the what she wrote, and then I'm gonna talk to you about why this happens and how to change it. But not just that, but also how to like understand. After listening to this, you'll understand humans in general a little bit better and why we do the things that we do. To just make once you start to have an understanding of all this, it just makes life so much easier. Human behavior is kind of the same across the board. And so yeah, like once you get it, it's just like you start to have a better understanding, which means and when you understand more, you judge less. And so that's really cool. So, this was her question. This was what she said. What are we doing with our kids at bedtime that actually works? This has been more recent, like 2 months, of my son just being absolutely feral before bed. He needs 593,000 snacks so he can stall. He runs away from me knowing I can't catch him. Even if he's tired, he still won't go to bed normally. It has to be a big ordeal, which ends up with me yelling and on the verge of tears. I've tried making a game out of it, being nice and understanding, yelling, reward system, basically everything possible, yet I dread it every night. At this point, I'm also tired and want to go to bed. He's been going to bed later lately since it's been nice out, but it takes at least 30 minutes to actually get him to bed. I give him a 10-minute warning at 8, and then he says he's hungry, so I give him a snack. And then I give him another 5 minutes, and then I have him change, brush his teeth, then I read to him and sing him a song, and then dad goes in and tucks him in. So by this point, it's 8:30, 8:45, and he is 5. He was just diagnosed with ADHD in March. I just don't understand why he's giving me such a hard time because this has only been happening the past 2 months. Before, he'd go to bed easily. Now it's just a nightmare. How does anyone have any advice on how to approach this and make it easier in any way? I try giving him snacks earlier since I know he's going to ask for them anyway, but he finds some other ways to make sure he still goes to bed around the same time. So, I totally feel for this woman because I do remember when I became a single mom with Cameron, he was 7 and bedtime almost started to feel like kind of a nightmare for us too. And it wasn't until I set some boundaries that changed everything. So, I will tell you that I always say that there's what we think we need and what we actually need, right? And so kids, like adults, don't know how to express what they actually need. So they try to find ways to have their needs met. Um, and it doesn't work because they're not even certain what they're actually needing. So kids are a lot like adults in the way that it's really hard to express what it is we actually need. So this kid is being feral, like she said. And so she thinks he needs, more snacks or a song, um, just all like whatever we want to give him more things, thinking that will solve the problem. But that's not actually what the kid needs. He is just acting out to have his needs met, but it's coming out in an unhealthy way because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he's not a bad kid. He just doesn't know what he actually needs or how to express it, which is actually like a lot of us adults, right? We don't always know what we need or how to express it. So we act out in order to have our needs met, right? And I will tell you that when children are acting out, not just children, but adults too, it's only because of one or more of these four reasons. Okay. So the four things are this kid needs, he's acting out because he needs more certainty. He wants to feel significant. He wants more connection, or he's just bored and looking for variety in his day. Those are the only four things that he actually might need to solve this problem for himself and for her. So the reason he's acting out is because one or more of these four needs for him is not being met in a healthy way. So he's using whatever ways he knows possible to have these needs met, and it's coming out in a way that's stressing the mom out, right? So the goal for us as parents is to figure out, what does my kid actually need, and how can I give them that in a healthy way? Okay. Because if it's only one or more of these four things, it can actually be fairly easy to do. And this actually goes with like all human behavior, because when we as adults act out, whether that be through anger or jealousy, or we get super needy, or whatever it could be, like whenever we do that, um, it's also because our needs are not being met in healthier ways. So we find a way to have our needs met. So if you're like, let's just say, you're acting like you're being more needy, like a child, right? You're being more needy. Well, what you're seeking is actually either more certainty, a little significance, connection, or some variety. It's one of those four things. And so if you can figure out what it is you actually need, you can actually prevent a lot of fights with your spouse, or a lot of like miscommunication. And you can also express it easier, because like because it's only one of those four things. So it's about finding healthier ways to have your needs met. And so I will say, if kids are acting out, oh, one more thing about that. Um, you know, it's not about well, here, I'll just move on. So it's not about our kids being bad kids. It's about them just doing what humans do when their needs are not being met, but they don't know how to express it or have those needs met in healthy ways. So they act out. And bedtime is a great time to do that, right? And so your kids are not bad kids. And often, like, I don't think your kids need medication. They just need help having their needs met in healthier ways. Um, and so how can we do that for them? So for me, so I noticed that my kid, he was acting out like every single night. So his dad and I, we go 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. And we've been doing that ever since we got divorced. And I noticed that the weeks that like my on weeks, Cameron, night bedtime was such a struggle. Um, it was like he wanted snacks, he wanted back tickles, he wanted me to read to him, sing to him, tuck him in, watch a show, all the things. He wanted me to lay with him. Like my our bedtime routine what was an hour, 2 hours long every single night. And yes, it was exhausting. Here's what I was gonna say is also when life is really uncertain, kids will act out more. So, like if you're going through a divorce or if there's a lot of uncertainty in the home, um, you're gonna feel it worse because when there's uncertainty, we tend to grip onto certainty tighter. And if we don't know how to get it in a healthy way, that's when it comes out negative. And this isn't just with kids, this is with adults too. This is human behavior across the board. So anyway, we were going through divorce, and so there was a lot of uncertainty for my son, even though I was trying to be the best mom I could be, right? But he still felt it. And I felt the uncertainty too, because it's like, what are we gonna do? And so every night it was a struggle. And it was really hard because um I also resorted to, getting angry at him or yelling or, just feeling like my response to him made me feel like a bad mom because that's not how I wanted to show up either. And so it was just exhausting. It was exhausting. And it wasn't serving either of us because not only did I not want to show up in that way, but I don't want him to remember mommy as like, the drained, exhausted, mean mommy, right? Every night at bedtime. It was just wasn't serving either of us. And so Cameron, he was also looking for some certainty, connection, significance, and maybe some variety during his day. But I think his main thing was he needed certainty, significance, and connection, which is three of the four things that I shared. And so, okay, so he needs that. So how can I give that to him in a healthy way as his parent? Because that's my job, right? Um, and just remembering, people are not their behavior. Okay. And so, how can I give this to him in a healthy way? Well, I need to create a boundaries. So, what I did was I created some boundaries. And when you are a mom, it can be really hard to set boundaries because you think it's going to make people upset or hurt feelings or whatever. But the truth is some like kids need boundaries because that alone does give them some certainty. Okay. So I thought to myself, okay, he wants me every single night, wants all my attention, all my energy. And it would really suck too, because like as a new single mom, it was like I had all this other stuff to wanted to do at night. Like I wanted to answer messages, do the dishes, clean up the house, get things ready for the morning. Like I had so much to do. And so that's what added to the stress of everything. So I thought to myself, okay, what can we do? You know what we're going to do? This was my solution, and this is what I would recommend for others going through this nighttime nightmare, okay? Is I said to him, this is what we're going to do. And I spoke to him in the tone like a queen with certainty and conviction, right? I said to him, 2 nights of the week, I'm all yours. So on those nights, I will read to you. I will tickle your back. I will watch a movie with you. We will eat snacks and I will stay off my phone. And so 2 nights of the week, I'm all yours. When you first come, I'm all yours. And when you first leave, I'm all yours. And we called it movie nights. On the other nights, the other 5 nights when you're here, I'm going to come in. I'm going to tuck you in. I'm going to give you a kiss. And then I'm going to walk out and shut the door. And I do not want to see you again. And I pretty much said it to him in that tone. It's not because I don't love you. It's because I have a lot to do at night and I need time to do those things. So, 2 nights I'm going to be all yours, but the other nights I'm going to come in, tuck you in, kiss you, and walk out, and I don't want to see you again. And I thought he was going to be really upset about it. But actually, he kind of was okay with it for a minute. Like he was like, "Oh, okay. Movie nights. Mommy's all mine, right?" And so that was what I decided we were going to set up, and I told him the plan, and I spoke to him with certainty and conviction and love. I killed the story that he might create that says my mommy doesn't love me. No, mommy does love you. It's because I have a lot to do at night and I want to be the best for you on our nights that we're together. So our movie nights, right? 2 nights of the week, I'm all yours. No cell phone, just me and you. You can pick out the movie. I will tickle your back. I will fall asleep with you. But on the other nights, this is what's going to happen. Okay. So we start doing our new routine. And I don't remember, so we'll do movie night tomorrow and then we'll start. Okay. So do that. Well, we picked a time. So a movie night starts at 8 o'clock. Okay. So we start this at 8 o'clock. The phone goes down. So what's really funny is, like I was saying, I thought he was going to be upset, but he was actually excited. And so the next night was movie night, and Cameron says at 7:55 p.m., 5 minutes till movie night. I'm like, okay, pick out a movie. And so he picks out a movie, and at 8 o'clock, I put my phone away and I gave him all of my attention. Like, put yourself in the moment and be so grateful that you get this time with your son or your kids or your whatever. And be there, like fully be there. Because if you're not fully there, it's not going to work. Okay. And you can be fully there because now you have 5 nights coming up where it's all your time. Okay. So we do it. It was great. He falls asleep. That's great. Next night, I go in, I tuck him in, I give him a kiss on the forehead, I say goodnight, and I walk out, shut the door, and I did not see him again. Same thing every single night, did not see him again. And if for some reason, he only would come out if it was truly something he needed, like if he had a stomach ache but for the most part, I didn't hear from him. And then our next movie night comes, and same thing. He's like, 10 minutes till movie night. He's so excited. And I have now high energy because I've got everything done. I know when, it's his time and my time. The boundary's been set. Everything's good. He's actually really excited for it. And so I put my phone down. We do our movie night again. And it's very important to make sure or know that even during those movie nights, those 2 nights out of the week, is that it's really easy for our brains to go elsewhere and kind of drift. But it's really important to make sure you bring yourself back into the moment, because it's really easy to start thinking about everything that needs to be done. But you want to bring yourself back into the moment, because what you're doing is you're not just doing a movie night. What you're doing is meeting your kids' needs in a healthy way. So that movie night gave Cameron certainty. He felt significant because my phone was gone. It was all about him. And it gave him the connection that he was craving with me. And I was meeting those 3 needs for him in a healthy way. So the other nights, he didn't need to react to have his needs met, because I told him what was going to happen and I followed through and actually did it. And so when you realize that, all we're all trying to do is have our needs met, even the kids, they're not bad kids. They're doing the same thing adults do. It just looks different because they're kids, right? But all he needed was for me to help him have his needs met in a healthy way so he could stop using unhealthy methods to meet his needs. And it worked like a charm. Um, and and it was great. And so this is, when a lot of times when people ask questions like this, I said to this lady, I said, message me and I will explain to you over voice because it's really I'm not just going to type out what I did. But then I thought, I'm going to do a little quick podcast on this because I feel like she's not the only one that is having nightmare at nighttime. And this changed everything for us because not only did I feel like a better mom because I was showing up better, like those movie nights, I was actually showing up as the kind of mom I want to be rather than a drained, irritated, frustrated mom. So I'm showing up better, and then on the nights where it wasn't movie night, I was able to get the things done, make sure my energy was full, and I was ready to give on those two movie nights. And so, if your kids are reacting or acting out, not just at bedtime, but at any time, I would take a look at those four needs that I shared and say, what are they lacking here? And how can I meet that for them in a healthy way? If your spouse is acting out, um, same thing. What are they lacking and how can I give that to them in a healthier way? Because a lot of us don't know how to meet our own needs in healthy ways because we've never been taught. Right. So most adults are just children in adults' bodies. Like they never get taught. Like your kids will probably never realize why they're behaving the way they're behaving if somebody doesn't tell them. But the truth is, the kids are not bad and the adults are not bad. We're all just trying to have our needs met. And we don't know how to do it in healthy ways. And we also don't really know what it is we actually need. So we don't even know how to express it. Right? It's really hard. But once you start to get this and understand, like, this is human behavior across the board, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, a kid, an adult, black, white, anything. Like, where your what's it, financial background, nothing. Like, all we're all trying to do is have our needs met. And if they're not getting met in healthy ways, we'll find a way to have them met. Maybe it's, for kids, biting, spitting, anger, lashing out, crying, coming out a million times for snacks, like whatever it is, like they're going to look for a way to have their needs met. So as the parents, it's our job to meet their needs, find ways to meet their needs in healthy ways. And if there is uncertainty in the home, like divorce or fighting, or if you guys are lying and those kids know it, that creates an uncertain environment. And so the kids will react to try to meet their need for more certainty because the truth is life in general is just uncertain. And so this is why Tony Robbins says, like, the more certainty you can handle, the better your life is. Because most people don't know how to handle uncertainty, which is, it just is what it is. So when you can learn how to handle and kind of give yourself certainty, life is a lot better. But, kids don't know how, and most adults don't know how, or they don't even know that this is what they're actually needing. And so hope this helps. If you have questions or if you need further, guidance on this, or if you think your situation is specific and like unique or different, I'm happy to like have a private conversation with you or see if how I can help you understand this like deeper. But, um, you know, nobody is bad We're all just trying to get our needs met. And like I was saying again, if there's uncertainty in the home, your kids are not going to be angels for you because they're trying to gain a sense of certainty and control in an uncertain world. So it's your job as the parent to do your best to give them the certainty that they're seeking or significance or connection that they're seeking in a healthy way, which will not make them feel better and their lives better, but it will make you feel better too. So, and for you too, if you're feeling a lot of uncertainty and you see yourself grabbing for unhealthy ways to have your needs met, um, just take notice of that and perhaps try to find healthier ways for yourself to have your needs met um, in ways that serve you better. So, like I said, a lot of us, like, especially in relationships, like we'll get needy. I get a little extra needy, especially when it's like my time of the month. And, Mac knows, but true typically when I'm being needy, what I actually need is I just need a little bit more certainty from him that like he loves me. Because you know how we say, like, do you love me? Like all we're really doing is looking for certainty and connection and maybe a little significance too. But these are what we're needing. So it's like once you know what you need, it really makes it so much easier to, I guess, self-soothe and just feel all around better and be able to express what it is. So that's all I got for today. And like I said, if you need any extra support in this, feel free to reach out. You're always welcome to join us in the Evolution membership where Mac and I do, weekly live coaching, where we help people just like you, create lives that they absolutely love. And, setting boundaries and like getting some of this stuff right and learning about human behavior is part of, creating and not just a good life, but like an outstanding life. So, this is just something, one of the things we touch on, but we do so much in our membership with our clients, and they're all killing it and just doing amazing. And would love to see you in there. So reach out, find me on Facebook, Jen Lockhart Grant. Um, I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much and have a great, great day.